Hello everybody, welcome to a little shnews update. We're going to catch up today on a few sneaky sneaker stories that have bubbled to the surface over the past couple of days, including this story around another black and varsity red Jordan 1 High 85 set to drop this holiday season. Also hearing that one of the best Jordan collaborators of all time in Kaws is set to have another go on another Jordan model. And we have a few other sneaky sneaker stories as well, so let's just dive into it. Right, so in terms of releases that have gone down today, you guys over there in the USA had a couple of restocks today on the Black Cat 3s as well as the Black Cement 3s, which is a pretty exciting little cheeky restock. For those of you guys here in the UK that are maybe thinking about trying to come up on the Action Bronson 990 V6, there's currently a raffle out there on End, as well as maybe a couple of other retailers that you guys might be able to go in before those release on the 25th. Right, let's get into the news, and let's start off with the news that there is another black and varsity red Air Jordan 1 High 85 set to release later on this year in October. And the rumors out there are kind of twofold with this story. Some stories that are being run are suggesting that this is just a restock of the Bred 85s that we had released earlier on in February. Some other reports are suggesting that this new sneaker, quote unquote new sneaker, has a completely different SKU, a completely different stock keeping unit, separating it apart from the Bred 85s, albeit sporting the same color palettes, just in different color blocking. So this particular release date is significant because apparently October 18th is the day that Nike were essentially issued that fine by the NBA back in the day for the uniform infringements that the Breds infringed on, or the black and the red color scheme infringed on. Now we know the story that it was actually the Bulls' own internal uniform standards that were breached by MJ wearing the black and the red airships back in the day, and then Nike obviously picked up that and used it as a marketing tool. And so who knows, maybe they'll take the Bred 85s and chuck an X on the back, or maybe they'll do a reverse. I'm not sure. But the fact that these have a different SKU is a pretty solid indication that it is going to be a completely new sneaker. So let's wait and see what happens. I'll keep you guys updated on that. Right, so the NBA playoffs have started, which means it's time for players to showcase their latest and greatest PEs, or in some cases, showcase their latest signature models. And we've had our first look at the Nike Jar 3. And Ja Morant was out debuting these against the Thunder. And the Jar 3 builds on the signature scratch concept that's been a through line of Ja's footwear journey, with this latest design leaning in more than ever. Got some large exterior TPU overlays which cover the upper, featuring the jagged claw-like shaping that suggests force and ferocity. The swoosh branding is equally assertive, appearing flipped, so you know what to do these days when it comes to hyping up your Nike. Just do something a little bit novel with the check. In this case, it's not facing backwards, but it's facing up. And I don't know, they almost give me a little bit of Kyrie energy, you know, like the Kyrie ones, but in a super low top fashion. I think they look cool. I think they look ballable. This colorway looks pretty sweet on feet. What are you guys thinking about the Jar 3? Feel free to let me know. Right, so it's a big year for the Air Max 95, as we know, with a whole bunch of cool pairs already having released, and with the pink foams right around the corner. And we've had another couple of exciting Air Max 95 colorways announced. Some of you guys will probably remember this particular pair here. These are the blue Sparks, and these last came out in 2011. And we've also seen the tangerine colorway of the Air Max 95 slated for a summer return as well. 190 bucks is the retail price point. Now, how many of you out there have really been plugged in to the J game for time now? Real ones out there will remember the Trunner, the LX. These things are returning this year in this luminous green colorway. Now, I actually used to have a pair of these Trunners back in the day, and just for casual wear, bro, these were cool. So what I'm seeing here in terms of the release information is they're going to be dropping sometime in the fall. No specific price point information either. We've had our best looks yet at, can I call this the sneaker of the year, the retro of the year? Probably the most anticipated shoe of the year. I think these are them. I don't think that's outrageous to say. The Undefeateds, they're coming out on the 28th of June. And bro, the better the images have gotten, the more appetizing these look, both in terms of the quality as well as the execution. These are looking fantastic. They've got the Undefeated hang tag that's coming with them, the Jordan Rare Air removable tongue patch, as we know. You've also got the interesting packaging, which is a throwback to those silver boxes from that whole 05 era. You guys might remember that particular box. And as you can see here with the co-branding, it features the 05 to 25 in the logo, as well as the Undefeated branding inside the 20-year celebration. They've got the extra laces that come with, as well as the certificates. These are looking tough. And we can see here the Nike Air pair, which, just to remind you guys, is supposed to be the pair that's going to be more widely available. And then the Jumpman pair is going to be the Undefeated exclusive, which will obviously be a lot more expensive on the resale market given the rarity. So yeah, I am really excited for this pair. I'm not sure how many units they're going to produce. Hopefully they make enough to go around and enough to make the resale price nice and low, so that if you do miss out for retail, these are going to be an easy cop. But yeah, I am liking these the more I see them. What are you guys thinking? So we spoke about Ja Morant debuting the Ja 3, and we've seen Shai Gilgeous-Alexander preview the Airs or Ares or Ares. I'm not sure exactly what that's all about there. Converse Shai 001 ahead of the playoff. In terms of a basketball sneaker that looks like it could make a really successful crossover into the lifestyle space, I feel like this sneaker is on point with that. This colorway, it's a bit more of a monochromatic all over gray color. They look nice. This marketing material is pretty sweet. I feel like Converse have definitely made a good move in signing this guy, because he's just so influential fashionably. Not for me, but for fashion people. Right, so New Balance Numeric are introducing Andrew Reynolds 933 signature model, and this is actually releasing a little bit later on this week. And if you guys aren't down with the whole New Balance numeric skate program, man, they've got some really nice bangers in amongst their portfolio. It's going to debut in 4 different colorways here, and all of these color hues kind of have that signature made in USA Teddy Santis kind of energy about them, or almost have that dad shoe type energy about them. I mean, I'm a fan of all of these. I think this is a really clean model. The price point that I'm seeing here is 130 bucks, so really not too bad. And I can see some of these colorways being really popular, a little bit like the 480 numeric, which in certain colorways has been quick to sell out from New Balance. Right, so Jordan Brand have another new lifestyle sneaker, and this one here is part skate shoe and it's part dad shoe, and these things are called the Sessions. Almost looks like a go-between between the Comfort Jordan walking shoe and then the Flight Courts Jordan skate shoe type thing. So this feels a little bit surplus to requirements. In terms of the breakdown of the shoe, it's 90 bucks. They look pretty clean, they look pretty simple, they really don't look like they're anything special. There's nothing readily identifiable that gives it away as a Jordan, apart from maybe the insole or something like that, and a little bit of the Jumpman co-branding. But yeah, I'm not so sure. I mean, is it really necessary in this current climate? I don't know. You can let me know what you think. Right, so some very exciting collaboration news that we've heard about in the past few days is that Kaws, also known as Brian Donnelly, is going to be teaming up again with Nike and Jordan brands to bring us another Jordan. Now, you guys might remember when the Kaws 4s dropped back in 2017. They were an absolutely massive hit right off the bat. Now, in terms of what is going to be the sneaker, we don't know yet. It's all just speculation. Some people have been wondering whether or not it's going to be a retro of these. I personally don't think that would happen. Surely not. Surely it's got to be a new design on fresh retro. Hopefully something that we don't see that often. Hopefully something fresh and completely out the box. I would be excited to see. What would you like to see Kaws team up to do on the Jordan? What would you guys like to see from Kaws on a Jordan model? Right, we've had the official images of the Jordan 1 High OG UNC Reimagined. These are set to drop next month on May the 10th at select retailers, as well as on the Nike sneakers app. I think 190 bucks is the price points, and according to the images, yeah, they're looking clean, they're looking good. You've got the red Nike Sportswear box, and then you've got the black Nike Sportswear lid, so the whole mismatched thing, a little bit like the Lost and Founds. They also seem to come with 2 sets of laces. You've got the cream pair, and then you've got the UNCs. And then, at least according to these images, particularly this one here, the leather on the upper almost has a little subtle gray hue to it, but I feel like that could just be the lighting with this particular picture. But you can see the leather is a bit cracked, like the Lost and Found Chicago's. You've got cracked leather on the mid panels, and then you've got a slightly more cracked leather running around the ankle collar. So yeah, they're looking good. Definitely going to be a popular shoe. I don't know if these will command big resell or if they'll even sell out in all sizes, to be honest, although, you know, it's a dope shoe. So you guys know my position. I've still got my 2015, so this is going to be, you know, a pair to review rather than a pair to keep for the collection. But yeah, still definitely an exciting release. So I've had a little release updates with regard to a pretty exciting collaboration between Nike and Kith. And so what we're looking at here is some full family sizing for an Air Force One, as well as a Footscape woven. You've also got a swoosh one, an Air Max 95, and then there's a whole bunch of different apparel. Right, so Jordan Brand is dropping a burgers, fries, and shake Jordan 1 collection this summer, and someone I saw out there called this the Air Zion collection, which is, yeah, that's pretty harsh. So we've got a Jordan 1 mid, which is inspired by the classic burger, and then you've got a Jordan 1 low SE, which looks like it takes its inspiration from the strawberry shake. And then you've got another Jordan 1 mid, maybe that's in kids sizing, that's inspired by the fries. So yeah, pretty cool. Right, so we've had some quote unquote confirmed news about a couple of exciting low top releases. First and foremost, the Storm Blue Jordan 1 Low OG and the Chicago Jordan 1 Low OG are both set to drop this year, with the Storm Blues dropping in the fall and then the Chicago's dropping in the holiday season. And the big rumor, the rumor that everybody's super excited about, is the fact that these are supposed to be coming out with the big swooshes. And this is a very minor detail, but it is the type of detail that will get sneakerheads excited, and it will inject some much needed excitement back into the Jordan 1 Low OG model, which has definitely been waning a little bit in popularity over the past few years, given it was all the rage a few years ago thanks to, well, mainly Travis Scott. So yeah, I'm thinking this is going to be pretty exciting. Right, so the other sneaker that we have had quote unquote confirmed this week is the Off-White Jordan 1 High, the white colorway, or the Alaska pair. Some people are still acting like this is going to be a restock of the EU pair from the original launch. I'm not really sure what to make of it, but these have apparently been confirmed for this holiday season. So I don't know, what do you guys think? I personally think it would be silly to bring back an already existing Off-White 1 model in a restock type capacity. Why not give us a new model, for goodness sakes? The color code, white on white, the SKU number I think is different, and then the name Alaska is different as well. So all of the evidence seems to suggest that we're going to be getting a white Jordan 1 Off-White sneaker. We're not going to be getting a restock. So the fact that a lot of these pages are showing the EU pair, to me, is a little bit misleading. I still don't know for sure though. I mean, I don't know any better than anybody else, but it just baffles the minds, for me anyway, as to why they would bring back the EU pair and not give us a brand new model. I don't know, what do you guys think? Right, so to finish off today, let's just quickly go through some of the sneakers that are dropping between now and the end of the week. You might want to keep an eye out for. Tomorrow, you guys in the US have on the Nike website or on the Nike app a little restock or a little re-up on some of the Nike React X Rejuvenate slides, or the foam shoes. On the 24th, there is the global release of the Air Max 95 OG in the pink foam colorway. You also have the Air Max Uptempo 95 in the Lakers colorway on the 25th, as well as the Action Bronson Amazonia 990 V6 on the New Balance website. And there are a couple of raffle releases out there here in the UK, like on End, for example, if you guys wanted to get in the mix for those. Also on the 24th, you've got the Nike and Nigo Air Force 3, the sort of bling collaboration collection. And then on April the 25th, you also have the LeBron 21 Prime 96. Very cool sneaker there for the old heads. And if anyone is in London and wants to have a crack at getting the Pharrell Adidas Adios Pro Evo 1, which is coming out in very limited quantities in store at End down on Broadwick Street, you guys are going to want to get down to End on Saturday for that release, because there's something like 85 pairs that are releasing specifically for London's marathon going down this weekend. So if you are running in the marathon, good luck, well done, congratulations, fantastic stuff. And then you've also got the Jordan 11 Low in the Bred colorway dropping on April the 26th. So a couple of sneaky bangers yet to release this week. And that about wraps it up for today's little updates episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. Do me a favor and like the video before you bounce, and I will see you on the next one. Take care for now, and peace.